This video I'm going to try to make as real as possible. I'm wanting to post this video for I don't even know how long, but I never did, and now it's finally time. When I first started posting YouTube videos, I reached out to a lot of people asking ideas on certain things, certain videos, and one I got a lot was my path with God, my walk with Him, basically my testimony, and just how my Christianity is personally, me and my relationship with God. And I never did. For several reasons. They're not okay reasons, they're not good reasons. I didn't because I was afraid, one, of being judged. Two, my path with God was non-existent. I mean, it was there, but it was just so faint. Even now, I'm for sure struggling, but I think that's what makes it so good for us to just be able to come together, things like this, like just sharing your testimony, just to help people realize no one is perfect. We are all sick. We're all hurting. We're all angry. We all make mistakes. I mean, no one in this world is perfect. The only one perfect is God, and He loves us no matter what we do. But we have to see that just because someone says they're Christian does not make them any better than anyone else. We all need God. This is why we all need God, is because we all mess up, because we all make mistakes. And I really feel like this video is more important than anything I've ever posted in my whole entire life, because it just needs to be said, and I need to say the words out loud. From a young age, I went to church. My mom grew up as a Christian. My dad didn't really grow up as a Christian, but eventually, after being married to my mom, he soon became a Christian. He didn't really have a very close relationship with God until a few years into their marriage. So growing up, I had my mother as a Christian influence on me, but my dad still was learning because he was a new Christian. My dad is a wonderful man now, and he is a man of God, and I aspire to be like him and my mother both. But at this time, my father wasn't, he really didn't know a whole lot. So when I grew up, I saw my mom, and then I saw my dad. So I had a little bit of both. And you know, when parents don't really have the same agreements, or they have separate perspectives or views as a child, I don't know, it kind of messes with your mind sometimes because you don't know who to follow. Like, you want to follow both of your parents, but maybe your parents are going different ways in life, maybe, if that makes sense to you. Now it's a completely different story. They're both on the same path, and that's a path with God. But before, this was different. I went to public school till I think it was 7th grade. As a kid, I was super shy. I wasn't shy when I got home, but when I was in school and when I was in public places, I was a shy kid. I really kept to myself, and it was mostly because I was so afraid of being judged. All I thought about, all that went through my mind all the time was, what are these people thinking of me? How do I look? How should I act? And it was always what everyone else was doing, because I didn't want to stand out and I didn't want to be different, because I was scared that people would A, make fun of me, or B, just look down on me. And obviously that's not a good reason, but it was just like that ever since I was young. I think this all really just started the minute I went to public school. So it probably even started like preschool or kindergarten. I was this way. I've just always been that way. I've definitely changed a lot over the years. I got baptized when I was, I don't think I remember my age. I think I was 11, because I think it was in 2012. I'm pretty sure I was 11. I simply got baptized because everyone else did. Another thing I did because everyone else did, get baptized, which obviously was a horrible mistake. Getting baptized at a young age, I don't want to say anything about this because every single person is different, and there may be different people who got baptized at a young age and are still going strong in their faith, and they had no problem with that. However, I think there also are some people like me, myself, who got baptized at a young age and really it meant nothing to them. When I got baptized, it meant nothing to me. yeah, I knew the idea of what was going to happen. I was going to have my sins washed away, like, you know, and I was going to go to church every Sunday, go to youth group, you know, the casual church Christian stuff. I think it was, let's see, I was probably in 6th grade. So I was in youth group. I was just starting out in youth group. And, you know, when you start to become a teenager, you know, things get even more rough because you have temptation all over the place and you have even more fear of people judging you, because as a teenager, teenagers can be super mean. Teenagers can also be super self-conscious, and I was a very self-conscious, not only child, but teenager as well. I think it was about 7th grade. Like I said, I started homeschooling. So after I got out of school, I obviously was exposed to a lot of things I wish I wasn't exposed by in just 6th grade. A lot of things that I think parents don't realize actually happen in school that are just terrible, and that's because we all come from different homes. And if you really think about it, when in your lifetime after school are you ever going to be in a group of people, like in a room of people all the same age as you? And in the real world, there's going to be people who are 50, 70, 10, 3, 20, 15, and they're going to be surrounded by you all the time, because we're never going to be a group of people who are all the same age ever again after school. School really, to me, just, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but that's a different argument, and that's for a different time. I was getting into my homeschool years, and this, as I told you before, I was already a very shy child. So I was shy in public school. It wasn't just because I was homeschooled, so you can't make that an excuse. Oh, you were shy because you're homeschooled. No, because I was like that in public school too. Definitely got worse in a way, because then I leaned towards social media. I downloaded all the social media apps. I was the kind of teenager who was always on her phone, because I didn't go to school every day, and I didn't necessarily hang out with people all the time. Like, I did have a few friends. I did definitely hang out with people. I wasn't just always alone or always just with my family. I definitely had people that I was surrounded with, but I leaned towards social media so much. I did grow a love for social media, and that can definitely be a great thing, because look at me now. I can share my whole story on social media, and like I can have all these people watching me, and it can have an amazing impact, but at the same time it can have such a horrible impact. Social media can do a lot of damage. It can fill your mind with a lot of toxic things that you shouldn't be even thinking about as a 14, 15-year-old. You shouldn't even be exposed to those things. You really shouldn't be, because you're just learning. You're just becoming a teenager. You're just becoming a young adult. You shouldn't have to think of those kind of things, but that's what happened to me. I was definitely exposed to a lot of things I wish I wasn't exposed to. Social media was my thing that I worshipped, that I felt fulfilled with. And of course, all of us have this void, and I filled my void with social media. Then I got really into talking to people on social media. So it's really kind of sad how it is now. Most people just text and talk through social media than even hang out in person. And I became that kind of person who just had a lot of internet friends. Really, that's a scary thing as well, because you never know if you've never met this person. Like, for example, if there was some girl who was my age talking to me on social media, for all I know, it could have been a 50-year-old man, dangerous, and I had no clue, because I was just a kid, and I was just looking to make friends. So I was just looking all the time for people to talk to, and then it went into more boys. Like, I thought maybe boys could help fill this void inside of me, because look at all these other girls who are my age, who have boyfriends, who've been dating their boyfriends for like 2 years now. Like, I'm 15, I should be allowed to have a boyfriend. Of course, I was not allowed to date at the time, but that also filled my mind a lot. Is just like, oh, I need a boyfriend, or I have to have a boyfriend to be fulfilled. I have to wear these certain clothes to be fulfilled. Then I got into makeup. As a lot of you probably already know, I had a whole entire makeup page. I used this YouTube channel as makeup tutorials. I used my Instagram. I had paid makeup gigs and everything. Like, it was truly my passion. I thought at that moment in time, this is what I was going to do for the rest of my life. But really, when I was wearing makeup, I did it because I was self-conscious. I hated myself. I was afraid that people were going to think I was ugly. People were going to think that I wasn't good enough. So I used makeup as my mask, as my confidence. And makeup, again, could be a good thing and it could be a bad thing, just like social media. And I turned this into a bad thing. It was something I loved to do, but I used me loving to do it as my cover up for really how I truly felt about it. And I would not go anywhere without makeup. I would not go anywhere with my full face of makeup on. I just wouldn't even show anybody what I truly look like, and it got to the point where people really didn't even know who I was if I had no makeup on. Well, then I, of course, got older, and I was still looking to be fulfilled. All of my life, I looked for things to fulfill me. I knew God was supposed to fill me. As I was probably about 12 years old and I was getting to social media, I was also learning guitar and I was becoming really into music. Music was one of my other passions. It was something I kind of hid in the corner. Most people knew I played guitar, most people knew I sang, but I really was super scared of people judging me once again. And I didn't want people to hear me sing. I really didn't want people to know about it. So it wasn't something I was just very open about. I kind of used makeup as my main thing, even though music I was more passionate about and have been the entire time. I was just too scared. I decided to join the youth group band. I sang in there for a while. Youth group kind of became my new place where I like to be a fake person, because that was kind of one of the other places, the only places I really went where I was surrounded by other teenagers. I mean, I don't want to say that because of course I was into sports and homeschool and those kind of things, but youth group was really my main place because I went there every single week and I saw the same people every single week. I tried to be the pretty girl, I don't even know what you want to call it. I just really tried to look confident when really inside I was just so self-conscious. I was just so worried about what everyone thought of me. Whenever I went to youth group, I really didn't make band. When I joined for band, I really didn't make that a priority, and I really was not singing for Jesus. I was singing because I wanted people to think I had a lot of talents. I wanted people to think that I was good enough, that I was a great person because I could do makeup and I could play guitar, and like I just really had the wrong idea about everything. I had the wrong thoughts about everything. Then not too long after, I stayed there in the band for a few years, and then later I became a leader of the band. They kind of moved me up as a leader. And after that, my family decided to move back to Ohio. This is where all of my family was in the first place, and we lived so far away from them. I thought it was going to be a kind of nice thing to get away for a while and just to be back with my grandma, my grandparents, and just all my family members. And I was really excited about it because we really felt like it was something God wanted us to do. Like, it was really random, but it was just something we felt like God was calling us to do, is just to move back to Ohio. We didn't have a house. We didn't really have a whole lot at all. But we moved anyways, and God, of course, provided everything for us. And it was kind of insane because right after we moved, my grandpa died. It was very unexpected. When we moved to Ohio, we never thought this would be something that was going to happen. It was very random, but that's life. Life is very random, and it's just so short. It kind of broke me. I suddenly looked at life a lot differently. You would think it would change my perspective in a good way, but it really didn't, because I just got so scared and I had so many feelings held inside of me because of that made me make a lot of dumb choices. A lot of dumb choices. I went behind a lot of people's backs. I went behind my parents' back, my family's back. I was not there for them. And I was just torn apart. I mean, my heart was just literally crushed. Like, it was broken. For that, I think it was about a little less than a month before that, I did meet my boyfriend, Gabe. He wasn't a Christian. So, of course, my parents were a little upset about that because, again, I was raised in a Christian household, and I've always kind of told us, you need to marry a Christian, like, you need to only date Christians, because you don't want to go through what we went through with my dad not being a Christian. So, I always kind of thought growing up, yeah, I'm probably gonna find, a guy who's a Christian, because I know what my parents have gone through, and, like, I don't want to go through that anymore. Of course, he was there for me, and I think he kind of saw after my grandpa died, I guess, the peace inside of my family about his death. Of course, we were sad. We were very, very, very upset and sad, because that's normal. But at the same time, we had so much peace about it because we knew God was with him, and he was in a good place because he was a very good man, and he was a very godly man. So we had a lot of peace about it, and a lot of people can't say they had peace when a relative or someone they knew died. A lot of people can't, because they just don't have that. But we did, or at least I may not have as much, but my parents did. When he saw that, I think it kind of lit something in him, and he was kind of like, wait a minute, like, what is different about this? As he kind of grew with our family, like I said, made some very, very dumb choices. I was just so hurt, and I was just so angry. I was so angry, and I didn't want to admit it at the time, but I was really angry with God. I really felt like he was just trying to shatter me. Like, I really just felt like he was breaking me on purpose. But everything happens for a reason. God has a plan for everything, and he turns burdens into blessings. And I would rather my grandpa be in heaven than here miserable on earth, because I know how miserable he would have been if he was still here. And that's the kind of way you have to look at life. That year, I was lost. I became someone else. I lost all my morals. I lost all respect for anyone. People lost a lot of respect for me. They saw something different in me that I never had before. And it was just really a lot of hurt and anger inside me. I turned 18. And of course, all my life, every kid says this, I'm going to move out. I'm going to move out when I turn 18, and I'm going to leave my parents' house. Well, I said that, and I really didn't believe I could do it, but I did it. And honestly, I'm not going to lie, it screwed up a lot of my life moving out. It gave me a lot more struggle, for sure, because I really wasn't so sure in the first place how bad this was going to hurt me moving out. I wanted to prove people wrong. I wanted to do my own thing, and I wanted to just be on my own, because I felt like no one was going to help me, no one was going to be there for me, and no one could heal me. So I'm just going to do things on my own, and I lost God and all that. And I continued to just screw up. I continued to do things I knew since I was 3 years old that would hurt me and affect the long run. But I did them anyways. Because in the moment, all we care about is ourselves. And we can just be super selfish sometimes. And that's what I was. I was just completely selfish. And even from just a week ago, I have made a lot of choices. I have looked at myself and worried about myself more than others, and more than my relationship with God. I say this because I want you to know that you are good enough. You are enough. You are loved. And what you do does not define who you are as a person. Yeah, it might affect your life in the long run, because we have to remember every single choice that we make will affect us in some way or another. It may affect ourselves, it may affect people around us, it may affect God. We don't think of everything else, we just think of ourselves. I want people to know that I am sorry. Because I'm not myself. I've not been myself, and I've hurt a lot of people, and I've gave people a wrong assumptions about me. I've broke a lot of trust. I've lost so much respect. I've learned a lot of lessons. And I'm going to continue to learn lessons because I'm not perfect. None of us are perfect. And we're going to continue to learn every single day. You have to use every single situation as a lesson. You never know when someone is going to be gone forever. You never know when life is just going to be over. You never know when your own life is going to be over. And you never know if that will be the last time you talk to someone. Listen to what God tells you to do. That's my number one advice. Spend time with the people you love. Choose the people you love over your own pride. Always. Always. Make God number one. And don't fill your void with people or things. And don't let Satan overtake you, because that's all he wants to do. All he wants to do is take your life from you and make everyone around you hate you. So you can just continue to mess up. So you can continue to make choices and you can continue to ruin your life. God has an amazing plan for you. He has an amazing plan for me. He has an amazing plan for every single person in this world. All we have to do is follow it. All we have to do is obey him and make him number one in our lives. Life hurts. Things happen that we don't want to happen. But God can turn a whole mess. He can turn you. You might be a whole mess. He can turn you into a wonderful, wonderful thing. You already are a wonderful thing. But God will never identify you from your mistakes. And that is something I've had to learn over and over and over again. Because I feel when I mess up that it's over for me. That I'm done and God will never accept who I am now. All you need to do is you need to be truly sorry from the bottom of your heart. You need to talk to him about it and be like, hey, I literally messed up and I don't want to do this anymore and I need your help, because we cannot go through this life without him. We cannot do things on our own, and we have to stop being so selfish and prideful and trying to make everything about ourselves. We have to stop doing things on our own, because we're not going to make it through. We're not going to be able to do everything on our own. We need God. We need him. Love your enemies and love every single person. God loves every single one of us, and all we have to do is see them through God's eyes. We can't hate anyone. We can't hold things in. We have to forgive. The one thing I've learned about forgiveness is it's not about the other person. It's not justifying what they did as right. But it's for your own good. It's for knowing that you forgave that person, and it helps you to move on. It helps you to let go. God says, don't forgive just 7 times. Forgive 70 times. You can't just write someone off. You can't not forgive them, or you won't be forgiving yourself. God will not forgive you if you do not forgive. You can't hold on to your anger and your problems and your hurt. You have to talk. You have to talk to God. You have to find someone else to talk to, some other Christian person who's going to hold you up and encourage you. Find people to talk to. Find people to keep you accountable. God is with you every second of every day. And whatever choices you choose to make, you're making with him, because he is with you. Don't forget that. Don't waste your life and don't waste your time. I don't know what God has in store for me right now. I'm just going to be honest with you. I feel like I'm just stuck in a hole. There's so much more I could be doing. There's so much more out there. But I feel like God needs me to learn a couple more things and to sit and be patient for a little while longer until I go to the bigger thing. I am really bored right now. I feel like every day is just the same. And I feel just bored out of my mind. And I wish I could do more. But this life isn't about ourselves. If you feel like that, start doing things for other people. Start asking God what he wants you to do. If you ever need anyone to talk to, know that I'm here for you, because I have gone through more than people think. You can't hide behind a reputation. Reputations, yeah, they do matter for sure. Reputations most definitely matter. Even the Bible says so. But reputations also are full of just mistakes that don't identify you. And it doesn't mean we should continue to mess up because God will forgive us. It means that we have to do better. Be glad that God is forgiving us, but it means we have to do better. And we have to learn and grow. Please don't run away from God like I did and like I've been doing. It gets you nowhere. This video has been playing on my head for about 2 weeks now. I've known I needed to do this video for a very long time, but for these last 2 weeks, it's actually been playing in my head, and I finally decided to do it. And I hope I was able to be as real as possible with you guys. I mean, this is raw and real for me right now. This is not a joke. This is not me fake crying. This is literally my life, and this is literally how things are. And I just wanted to be honest. I hope that it encouraged you somehow.